Have you ever felt like you're standing at the edge of an abyss, a tightrope stretched impossibly thin before you? A chasm of doubt and fear yawning beneath, threatening to swallow you whole with every imagined misstep? It's that feeling of being utterly, completely stuck, paralyzed by the sheer weight of what-ifs. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if everyone sees me for the fraud I secretly believe I am? These questions become a relentless, deafening chorus, drowning out any whisper of hope or possibility. This isn't just about a fear of heights, or public speaking, or any single, easily identifiable phobia. This is about that deeper, more insidious anxiety that creeps into every corner of your life, poisoning your ambitions, stifling your creativity, and holding you captive in a self-made prison of insecurity. It's the fear of truly living, of taking risks, of putting yourself out there and daring to be vulnerable. It's the quiet, persistent voice that tells you to play it safe, to stay small, to avoid anything that might expose your perceived flaws. Perhaps you recognize this feeling in your career, where the fear of rejection keeps you from pursuing that dream job or asking for a well-deserved promotion. Or maybe it manifests in your relationships, where the fear of vulnerability prevents you from forming deep, meaningful connections. It could even be present in your personal life, where the fear of failure stops you from exploring new hobbies or pursuing passions that truly ignite your soul. This fear, this tightrope walk, is a universal human experience, a battle fought in the quiet corners of our minds. We often try to ignore it, to push it down, to pretend it doesn't exist. We tell ourselves to be strong, to be brave, to just get over it. But these platitudes offer little comfort when you're standing on that precipice, the wind whipping around you, your heart pounding in your chest. What we often fail to realize is that this fear isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being alive. It's a signal that you're on the verge of something important, something that matters deeply to you. The challenge isn't to eliminate fear, but to learn to dance with it, to acknowledge its presence without letting it dictate your path. This journey isn't about magically transforming you into a fearless superhero. It's about recognizing the strength you already possess, the resilience that lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. It's about learning to trust your own instincts, to quiet that inner critic, and to take that first shaky step onto the tightrope, knowing that even if you stumble, you have the capacity to get back up and keep moving forward. This is about finding your own balance, your own rhythm, your own way to navigate the challenges that life throws your way. Think of Anna, a young woman facing her own tightrope walk. Her story isn't unique, but it's deeply personal, a reflection of the struggles we all face when confronted with our deepest insecurities. Through her journey, we'll explore the roots of these fears, the patterns they create, and the tools we can use to overcome them. We'll delve into the power of self-compassion, the importance of support, and the transformative potential of embracing vulnerability. And together, we'll discover that the true reward isn't reaching the other side unscathed, but the strength and wisdom we gain along the way. The roots of this paralyzing fear often lie buried deep within our past experiences, meticulously constructed narratives we've internalized since childhood. These aren't always dramatic, traumatic events. Sometimes, they're subtle, insidious messages absorbed from our environment, shaping our self-perception in profound ways. Think, for instance, of the child constantly praised for their intelligence but never for their effort. Unwittingly, they may learn to equate their worth with innate ability, developing a deep-seated fear of failure because it would expose them as not being naturally gifted. This creates a reluctance to try new things, to challenge themselves, lest they shatter the carefully constructed image of effortless competence. Another crucial layer to consider is the impact of societal expectations and cultural norms. We live in a world that often celebrates perfection, projecting idealized images of success and happiness that are largely unattainable. Social media, in particular, can exacerbate this pressure, creating a constant stream of curated realities that fuel feelings of inadequacy and comparison. We see others seemingly effortlessly achieving their goals, living their best lives, and we can't help but wonder what we're doing wrong. This constant exposure to unrealistic standards can breed a deep-seated fear of not measuring up, of being left behind, of failing to meet the expectations of others. Furthermore, our brains are naturally wired to prioritize potential threats, a survival mechanism that served our ancestors well. However, in modern society, this tendency can often lead us to overestimate risks and underestimate our own abilities. We tend to dwell on the negative possibilities, magnifying potential consequences while downplaying our capacity to cope with them. This is why that nagging voice of doubt can be so persistent, so convincing. It's our brain's way of trying to protect us, albeit often misguidedly, from perceived danger. Consider how this applies when you face a new challenge at work. Instead of focusing on your skills and experience, your mind might immediately jump to all the things that could go wrong. You might make a mistake, your boss might be disappointed, your colleagues might judge you. This cascade of negative thoughts can trigger a surge of anxiety, making it difficult to concentrate, to perform at your best, and ultimately, to take the necessary steps to succeed. However, understanding these underlying mechanisms can be incredibly empowering. By recognizing the origins of your fears, you can begin to challenge their validity, to dismantle the narratives that have been holding you back. You can start to see that your fears are not necessarily reflections of reality, but rather products of your past experiences, societal pressures, and your brain's natural inclination toward negativity. This awareness is the first step toward reclaiming your power and rewriting your own story. Reflecting on this journey so far, we find ourselves at a unique vantage point, a place where seemingly disparate threads begin to weave together into a cohesive tapestry. It's akin to standing on a hilltop, observing how individual streams, each carving its own path through the landscape, eventually converge to form a powerful river, flowing towards the open sea. The individual fears and anxieties we've acknowledged, the underlying narratives that have shaped our perceptions, and the inherent biases of our own minds. These are not isolated incidents, but interconnected elements of a larger, more complex system. It's as if we've been examining the individual pieces of a puzzle, each holding its own shape and color, without yet seeing the complete picture. Now, as we begin to fit these pieces together, a clearer image emerges, revealing the contours of our inner landscape and the forces that have shaped our emotional terrain. We begin to see how past experiences, societal pressures, and ingrained thought patterns can conspire to create a self-limiting narrative, a story that keeps us tethered to the familiar, preventing us from fully embracing our potential. The journey inward has illuminated not only the challenges we face, but also the immense capacity for resilience and growth that resides within us. It's like discovering a hidden garden, overgrown with weeds and shrouded in shadows, but still possessing the potential for extraordinary beauty. The work of tending to this garden, of weeding out the negative beliefs and cultivating self-compassion, is a continuous process, but one that yields profound rewards. Drawing these strands together, we see that the act of facing our fears is not about achieving some idealized state of fearlessness, but rather about cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves. It's about learning to recognize the triggers that activate our anxieties, the narratives that fuel our insecurities, and the coping mechanisms that either help us or hinder us. This self-awareness is the foundation upon which we can build a more resilient and fulfilling life. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer. It's a path that requires courage, compassion, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability. It's a path that leads us away from the illusion of perfection and toward the authenticity of self-acceptance. It's a path that invites us to step onto that tightrope, not with the expectation of flawless execution, but with the intention of learning, growing, and discovering the strength that lies within us. As we pivot toward the final reflection, consider the cumulative effect of the insights gained. This isn't merely about managing anxiety. It's about transforming our relationship with fear itself. It's about recognizing that fear isn't an insurmountable obstacle, but rather a signal, an invitation to step outside our comfort zone and embrace the unknown. It's about understanding that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. Now, poised at the edge of this shared understanding, we glimpse something profound. The tightrope isn't just a path across fear, it's a forge. It's where the raw metal of our anxieties is hammered and shaped into the resilient steel of self-trust. The abyss below doesn't define us. It's the contrast that illuminates the strength forged within. The journey across isn't about eliminating the wobble, but about learning to sway with grace, to correct with awareness, and to keep moving forward even when the wind threatens to knock us off balance. It's the constant recalibration, the subtle adjustments, that build a deeper, more enduring sense of equilibrium, one that extends far beyond the confines of this metaphorical tightrope. The true practice begins now, not in meticulously avoiding the edge, but in consciously approaching it. It lies in the willingness to experiment with our boundaries, to gently nudge ourselves beyond the familiar, knowing that discomfort isn't a sign of failure, but an invitation to expand. Each intentional step, however small, rewrites the narrative, replacing the ingrained script of fear with a testament to our courage and capability. It's about recognizing that the voice of doubt, though persistent, doesn't hold ultimate authority. We do. We are the authors of our own stories, and we have the power to choose the words that define our path. Consider this: the most breathtaking vistas are rarely found in the safe, predictable valleys. They are earned through the climb, through the challenges overcome, through the unwavering commitment to reaching a higher perspective. Similarly, the most profound personal growth doesn't occur within the confines of our comfort zones, but in the spaces where we dare to venture beyond, where we confront our fears and discover the untapped potential that lies within. The tightrope, then, becomes not a symbol of limitation, but a gateway to boundless possibility. So, as you step back into your daily life, remember the lessons learned on this metaphorical journey. Embrace the wobbles, celebrate the small victories, and extend compassion to yourself when you stumble. Know that the path to self-mastery is not a linear ascent, but a winding road filled with unexpected turns and challenges. But with each step, with each act of courage, you are forging a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, one that is capable of navigating any abyss and embracing the infinite possibilities that lie beyond. And finally, carry this affirmation with you, a gentle reminder that you are not alone, you are capable, and you are worthy. I acknowledge my fears, but I choose to move forward with courage and self-compassion. I trust in my ability to navigate the challenges that lie ahead, and I embrace the journey of growth and self-discovery with an open heart. The true practice begins now.